Good afternoon, I'm Herman Green with the Midday News. A special welcome to those of you watching on onespotmedia.com. A reminder as well that you can download our One Spot Media app in the Google Play Store or the App Store. That's the number one, followed by the words Spot Media. We begin with the weather as the Meteorological Service has extended a flash flood watch for low-lying and flood-prone areas of all parishes until 5 o'clock this afternoon. This as the forecast for this afternoon includes widely scattered showers and thunderstorms across sections of central and western parishes. There is a stationary front across the Western Caribbean which continues to produce unstable weather conditions across the island. The Meteorological Service says the front is expected to linger west of Jamaica today before dissipating early tomorrow. A ridge of high pressure is expected to briefly become the significant feature on Saturday. A flash flood watch means that flash flooding is possible and residents are advised to take precautionary measures. Keep informed by listening to further releases from the Meteorological Service and be ready for quick action if flooding is observed or if a warning is issued. Head of the St. James Police Division, Senior Superintendent Marlon Nesbitt, is optimistic that there will soon be a reduction in the murder figure in the parish. More than 250 people have been murdered in St. James since January 1.
When you were going there, though, didn't you set down as a reduction in murders one of your targets?
That will always be one of our main
Yes.
thing to look at as reduction in crime, because that's what we're judges of.
And the graph went in the different direction.
That's correct.
So,
but as I said, based on what is happening around us, based on the limitation,
yes.
based on the successes we have, I still think the team that I have done very well under very trying circumstances. And I know things will temper down as we move forward, based on what was already done.
Senior Superintendent Marlon Nesbitt will be transferred to the Border Security Branch effective November 10. SSP Nesbitt will be replaced by SSP Wilfred Campbell, who now heads the Kingston Central Police Division. Public sector trade unions will have to wait until the middle of next month to begin negotiations with the government for a new wage package. President of the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, JCTU, Helen Davis White, is anticipating that a specific date will be given soon. Public sector unions have been increasing their agitation for the process to begin after complaining about the delayed start to wage talks for the 2017-2019 contract period. The Police Federation and the JCTU have stated that this is the longest they have had to wait for negotiations to commence. Mrs. Davis White explains that despite this anxiety, they have no choice but to wait.
Commencing the 13th of November, we don't have a confirmed date as yet, but we have had discussions with the Ministry of Finance, and that is the date that we are looking for, the week commencing the 13th of November. We fully expect that once we get a confirmed date that the negotiations will be going on in earnest, because we recognize that our members would want to have the negotiations concluded as quickly as possible.
Mrs. Davis White explained that public sector workers will have to look to 2018 for the results of this year's wage negotiations.
Not likely that even if we come to agreement that any payment will be made this year, because it has to go through a process. So if we were even to complete by the end of November, December is an early pay period, so it would be very difficult to be able to have increases in place by the end of the year. But what we really want to have right now is to be able to arrive at some agreement and from there determine implementation dates and a payment schedule.
Public sector trade unions have already rejected the government's 6% wage offer. Vandals continue to prey on Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC buses despite the offer of a reward to help nab those involved in the stoning of the vehicles. This was confirmed by JUTC Managing Director Paul Abrahams. The latest incident took place this week.
The attacks on the buses continue. We've had stonings recently, yes. I think as recently as either yesterday or the day before. So it's something that we're still grappling with. And we're still trying to understand why this is happening and how we can put an end to this.
JUTC is offering $100,000 to assist in bringing the vandals to justice. JUTC buses, which traverse Greater Portmore, Christian Penn, Angels Estate, Macook's Pen, and the Central Village in St. Catherine, are frequently targeted. Augusttown and sections of Washington Boulevard in St. Andrew are also problem areas for the company. Since the start of the year, there have been close to 40 cases of stone throwing targeting JUTC buses. 2 alleged gunmen are now in the Spanish Town Hospital with gunshot wounds. Reports are that the men robbed a policeman of his cellular phone on Bay Farm Road, Kingston 11, sometime after 10 o'clock last night. It's also reported that the men pulled guns and fired at the policeman after taking his cellular phone. The policeman fired back, and the alleged robbers were hit. The men reportedly told investigators they knew each other but were injured in separate incidents in Portmore and Spanish Town. The police are now trying to determine how both men, who said they were in different locations, ended up at the Spanish Town Hospital in the same vehicle at the same time. Councillor for the Hughenden Division, Andrew Harris, is calling for a neighborhood watch across the area to help stop car thieves. He made the assertion on Wednesday regarding what he described as an upsurge in car theft in communities like Hughenden and Pembroke Hall. According to Mr. Harris, almost every night a car is stolen in either community.
What this boils down to really is just persons not coming together to have some sort of neighborhood watch or some community group that can watch, because the police are stretched their limits. So that's really what we have to do. We have to get some sort of neighborhood watch thing going that we can get the thieves out of our communities.
He says he has been meeting with several agencies to be a part of a crime reform initiative.
We have met with 2 other private security companies to see how the neighborhood watch can, form some sort of alliance with them to further protect our communities.
Meanwhile, residents of Hughenden and St. Andrew, particularly senior citizens, are again highlighting the poor state of the roads in their community. They say after years of following the proper channels to seek assistance, they are left frustrated as nothing has been done. TVJ's O'Shane Masters reports.
An aging community with decades-old problems. The Hughenden community lies just outside 2 of the busiest thoroughfares in the corporate area, Malines Road and Washington Boulevard. Its community residents assert that it has been neglected. Just like the thousands of communities across the country that are battling with poor roads, their main request is for this corridor to be fixed. They say what separates Hughenden is that most of the people living in the community are senior citizens, and it is almost impossible to get in and out of the area quickly.
My concern is also for the elderly. It's an aging community. If you look around you right now, you see older people, right? They can't walk on the sidewalks because they are broken down as well. They can't walk in the road. So you have to be helping these people to come from the house to go anywhere at all.
Since this week here, I had to change the ball bearings on the front of my car, and 1 engine mount cost me $25,000. I'm a pensioner. So what do you expect me to do?
They say they have tried written petitions over the years and unsuccessfully consulted several government agencies.
I don't know where else to turn, unless we block road like everybody else, and I am not a person who believes in blocking any road. Right? And that is probably why we haven't gotten any roads fixed at all.
As they gather to vent their frustration, the councillor for the area, Andrew Harris, arrived on scene, and they didn't hesitate to accost him. He argued that he has been taking representation to get the road fixed.
People would go back to say governments over the years, for whatever reason, I can't say why they have not been fixed over the years. But wouldn't be totally true to say that no roads. But it's just that all of them can't fix one time, and that's fact. We have to be going 1-1 or 2-2.
He, however, agreed that poor communication on his part has led to the residents' frustration and has promised help.
I'm in solidarity with the residents for their protest or their calling out for the roads to be fixed, because I've made several representations already at the council to get Starsway, the main entrance to the community, fixed. It has not happened yet, but I'm certain in short notice, in short order, it will be fixed.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
And the residents of a St. Catherine community resorted to fixing the Caymanas access road after a motorist slammed into a signpost, receiving minor injuries but major damage to the vehicle. The female driver was reportedly trying to avoid several potholes. On Wednesday, taxi operators and residents who use the stretch of road leading to communities in the Caymanas area off Mandela Road dipped into their pockets to patch the huge potholes.
A long time I pray the road is still and it's in a deplorable condition still. So, and up to when it look like some vehicle pass and tear down all the sign on this, so them not really aware of the amount of patrol them in the road and them thing there. So it come to my idea, so if you check some of the taxi man them, you understand. So we just get some cement, buy some cement, and them say, yeah, them will give a hand, and these are the results we end up with for ourselves.
Councillor Norman Scott says he plans to do major patching of the Caymanas access road, which is off the Mandela Highway, but residents insist something needs to be done now.
It's two things, in life, is that I want to get it done or I like to see it done. No, I would like to get it done because it's two things. You have to think about the woman then and the kids then. Now, when a man cannot come in a certain hours at night and navigate through the hole and can protect himself, a woman's scared. And just by being scared, she go speed, and by speeding, she go bust her tire. So two things after that, she got to crash or the vehicle mash up. It's still cause the family, and causing the family come back to the community. And if the community under strain, then the country under strain. So we are trying to do our thing from a community level.
Over 350 persons in Comfort Castle and surrounding communities in Portland benefited from a health fair recently at the Comfort Castle Primary School. The initiative was headed by a medical team from Florida and the Northern Caribbean University NCU. Some doctors from the Port Antonio Hospital were also a part of the team. Okima McIntosh, one of the organizers of the health fair, says the initiative is part of an outreach program geared at educating people about non-communicable diseases, especially diabetes.
In Jamaica, diabetes is one of the top diseases, and I think a part of it is the portion control of the food, eating a lot of carbs. As Jamaicans, we will have a lot more rice on the plate, a lot more yam and banana, which is good, by the way. Yam and banana, those things are good, ground provision for the portion, and we eat a little bit of protein in a high-carb diet. And so type 2 diabetes, which is rampant here, can be reversed by just diet and exercise.
One resident says he's grateful for the health fair as it saves him the long journey to the nearest hospital.
A great help to we the people in this community. Like, there's a lot to it. A lot of us, we must have the money to go to that.
Comfort Castle Primary School also benefited from the program.
As a result, we have installed swings, slides, trampolines, football, pitch, along with other stuff. We have donated technological items to the school. We have also adopted the teachers. So we have provided resources for them to use in their classrooms, both for the kindergarten area as well as the primary school.